every age, there rises a man who has everything: power, knowledge, glory. And in every age, that man falls. Not because he was weak, but because he would not listen. This is not just a story of Ravan. This is the story of his choices. The Tales of Ravan. Ravan's sons didn't just inherit his name, they inherited his terror. Mandodari, Ravan's beloved wife, gave him 6 sons. When the eldest was born, his first cry sounded like a thunderstorm. Ravan named him Meghnad, the thunder-voiced one. But the world would come to know him by a different name. Meghnad mastered the art of illusion and did what no warrior had ever done before. He captured Indra, the king of the gods. From that day, the world stopped calling him Meghnad. He was given the name Indrajit, the conqueror of Indra. Then there was Aksha, who was sent to confront Hanuman, the son of wind god, during his first entry into Lanka. Hanuman caught him mid-air, spun him, and crushed him. Aksha was the first of Ravan's sons to fall. Atikai was a supreme archer whose body was so massive, his name literally meant exceedingly large. Trishul, the 3-headed warrior, once consoled a grieving Ravan after the death of Kumbhakarna, Ravan's giant brother, reminding his father not to mourn like an ordinary man. And then there were Narantak and Devantak, 2 brothers said to be equal to Indra himself in valor. Neither had ever tasted defeat before the war. Every son was a legend in battle, and every one of them broke Ravan's heart when they fell.
Ravan and Vibhishan were brothers, but one of them betrayed the other. For years, Vibhishan stayed by Ravan's side. When Hanuman, Ram's messenger, was captured, he told Ravan that killing a messenger was against dharma or righteousness. Ravan did not listen. When Sita, the beloved wife of Ram, was brought to Lanka, Vibhishan begged Ravan to return her. Ravan did not listen. The breaking point came in an open court when Ravan turned on Vibhishan with contempt, accusing him of siding with the enemy. Vibhishan walked out. Ravan called it betrayal. Vibhishan called it the only choice left. During the war, Vibhishan's knowledge of Lanka proved decisive. When Ravan finally fell, Vibhishan hesitated to perform the funeral rites as his brother had betrayed dharma. Ram reminded him that Ravan was a warrior, a king, and a scholar. He deserved to be cremated like one. Vibhishan lit the pyre, and at that moment, Ravan was his brother again. Ravan had the most powerful queen in the world, but he never listened to her. Mandodari was no ordinary queen. The daughter of Maya, the demon architect, and Hema, a celestial dancer, she carried both worlds in her blood. Ravan had other women in his life. Among them was Dhanyamalini, another of his queens. But Mandodari was always the first. But Ravan did not give her the loyalty she deserved. He filled his palace with thousands of women, princesses taken from kingdoms he had conquered across the world. Through it all, Mandodari stayed. She warned him that keeping Sita, Ram's beloved wife, in Lanka would bring destruction upon everything he had built. Ravan did not listen. When Ravan finally fell, Mandodari stood over his body and wept. He had defeated gods. He had shaken the heavens, and yet he could not conquer his own desires. His ego had cost him everything. Ravan had every kind of power, except the power to listen to the woman who loved him most. Ravan had just lost his son, Aksha. The man who killed him was sitting in front of him in chains. Hanuman had let himself get captured as he wanted to meet Ravan and deliver a message. When Hanuman saw Ravan for the first time, he was awestruck. The majesty in that room was unlike anything he had ever seen. Hanuman thought that this man could have been the greatest protector of the gods, but he had chosen the wrong path. When Hanuman's identity was questioned, he said,
I am a messenger of Ram, the king of Ayodhya. Return his wife Sita, O Ravan, or watch Lanka burn.
This made Ravan furious, very, very furious.
Execute him.
The court fell silent. Just then, Vibhishan, Ravan's younger brother, intervened. Killing a messenger is against dharma, the path of righteousness, he said. This time Ravan listened, but his punishment was no less cruel. Ravan ordered his guards to wrap Hanuman's tail in cloth, soak it in oil and set it on fire. And we all know how that went for Ravan. Ravan wanted to humiliate Hanuman, but instead he humiliated himself. Ravan built a magnificent city, but he built it with stolen treasures. Lanka stood on Mount Trikuta, surrounded by golden walls and wide water trenches filled with lotuses and crocodiles. The gate towers shone white against the sky. From a distance, it looked like it was floating. Inside, the citizens lived in mansions 7 and 8 stories high, with crystal floors and golden staircases. The streets smelled of sandalwood and echoed with Vedic chanting. This was not a city of demons. This was one of the most cultured cities in the world. But all of it was built on treasures stolen from kingdoms across the world. Ravan had built a paradise, but it was built on adharma, the path of unrighteousness. A kingdom built on such wrongdoings can only stand for so long. In the end, he had to watch it all burn.
Ravan was invincible, but his sister wasn't.
Shurpanakha, Ravan's fierce sister, had attacked Sita, Ram's beloved wife, in the forest. Lakshman, Ram's younger brother, cut off her nose in retaliation. Humiliated and bleeding, she went to Khara, her cousin and guardian of the forest, demanding revenge. Ram killed Khara too. Then she came to Ravan. But she did not come to cry. She came to provoke. She accused Ravan of being blind to what was happening to his relatives. Ravan was furious. But Shurpanakha was not done. She deliberately described Sita as the most beautiful woman in the world. Ravan's anger turned into obsession. His advisor warned him. This path would lead to destruction. But as always, Ravan did not listen. He had made up his mind. The only way to restore his honor was to take Sita. One decision made in rage and pride set in motion the war that would destroy everything he had built. Shurpanakha had just lost her nose, but Ravan lost his kingdom, his family, and his life. Ravan had survived everything. Gods, curses, wars, but his time had come. After losing his brother Kumbhakarna and son Meghnad, Ravan fainted with grief. But soon, his grief turned into rage. Ravan stormed towards the Ashokvan to kill Sita in vengeance. But his own advisor stopped him and urged him to direct his anger towards Ram. So Ravan turned back to the battlefield and fought like he had nothing left to lose. His heads regenerated 100 times. His celestial weapons lit up the sky. Even Ram grew frustrated. The battle continued for days. In the end, Ram used the Brahmastra, a divine weapon of absolute destruction, and pierced the one point where Ravan's protection was vulnerable, his chest. Ram looked at the fallen Ravan and realized that the world has lost someone it would never see again.